Okay, so let's talk about that a second. Success. For you, what is being successful? Are you successful today?
For me, success doesn't come with a job title, it comes with areas of influence. So when I look at jobs, it's not about the specific title I have. Areas of influence: what can I influence in the business? Who are the people who I can lead? Who am I led by? So I look at businesses and roles in terms of areas of influence. So that's, for me, I'm way more successful than I would have imagined 20 years ago. I mean, really, I think incredible for me to be in these situations.
Hi, welcome to Indian Explorers, a new podcast where we speak about the Indian diaspora and why they've been so successful around the world. My name is Amit Navalrai, and I am speaking to you from Santiago, Chile. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina Scott, coming from San Antonio, Texas. I am the president of the Five Spheres of Fit, a holistic lifestyle strategy. Together, we will get to understand the journey of our guests and what drives them. The optimism, patience, idealism, and courage of these explorers is what we hope to bring to life in our conversations. And please, if you like what you hear, subscribe and help us recommend our next guest.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Saturday morning, ready to get
Yeah,
this going.
yeah. Just finished my soccer game, so I'm all yours. I wanted to thank you, Sabrina. When we met at your place in December, we spoke about doing this podcast, and you were like, "Is I don't know if you were sure if this was going to go ahead or not. Do you remember?"
Yeah, you came and asked me to be a co host, which I was totally flattered. But where did this idea of Indian explorers come from?
Uh, a number of reasons, really. I think I want to figure out why is the Indian diaspora so successful? At least in my eyes, we know non-resident Indians all over the world. Uh, you in America. Our guest today was in Jakarta and is now in Dubai, and all three of us are from Las Palmas. And I figured, I mean, let's just look at the Indian CEOs in America alone.
Yeah.
I believe Microsoft, Alphabet, Starbucks, I could go on and on. They're just the list goes on and on. So
It
I want
really
to find
does.
out.
And sorry, I was going to say, it really does. And, you know, living here in the US, and with the advent of social media just blown up, you see the support Indians have of each other, no matter the industry they're in. Everyone's supporting each other. And I think this is just going to be another way for us to do that.
Correct. I want to know what makes us tick. Is it that we are naturally hardworking, or our parents would focus so much on us academically? Uh, is it because we were forced to leave our hometown overnight?
Mhm.
And also, I want to figure out, like, what is your definition of success versus mine versus the guest we speak to? Because I feel as we grow older, my definition of success is no longer wealth and health, it's more
Right.
time. So
Oh,
time now is
interesting.
critical.
For me, it's happiness. If you don't wake up happy every day doing what you're doing, what's the point?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, let's see how this goes. I'm excited.
Okay, great. So today I actually invited a friend of mine who I've known for 30, 40, 40 plus years, and he's also from Las Palmas like we are. His name is Amit Keswani, and let's bring him on the podcast. Hi, Amit.
Hey, Amit, how are you doing?
Hi, Amit.
You two
Sabrina, it's
know
been
each other,
ages.
right?
We
Yes,
do.
trying to remember when was the last time we saw each other.
You
Probably
know,
20 odd years ago.
at least 20 years ago when I used to
Wow.
call you Pelu,
Yes.
and I mean, for people out there listening, Pelu, pelo is hair in Spanish, and Amit used to have long hair when I met him, and that was his nickname. And we look different now, both
We
of
totally
us.
look different. Your cousin Sabita and Kiran tried to call me the other day, but I missed their call. They were together.
Oh, Oh
Yeah,
gosh, blast from the past, right? It's so great to see you, and I'm so happy you're our first guest.
you too. Thanks.
In fact, Keswani, um, you and I hadn't met or kept in touch for a long time. And also around 20, 25 years ago, I bumped into you at Lang Kwai Fong LQF in LKF in Hong Kong. Sabrina, you don't know the story, and we're not in touch. I didn't know he was there. Um, I was just there for 3 months, and I was in a bar chasing girls. I think he was going home with the girls. I looked up to him, thinking, let's hang out with this guy. It'll be fun to be with him, and we've been in touch ever since, right, Kaswani?
So the funny story is, your brother and me were classmates in school, and you and me really didn't know each other that well when we were young. We
Correct.
knew of each other. I mean, I'm sure we played sports together, etc.
Football.
But you left Las Palmas to go to the UK, if I don't recall wrong. And yes, effectively, we bumped into each other in Hong Kong. And surprisingly, I think I was in Miami before that. You were there also. We didn't get to meet, and we ended up being partners in Bangalore many years later.
Can I step back, Amit?
Sure.
The reason why I thought of you when I had this idea of Indian explorers was because I feel that one of the reasons or something that helps in terms of being successful is having support. And by support, I mean a number of things. One, family support. My mom and dad, my brother. I work today with my brother. When I was in India, those hospitality projects was financed by my dad. And I feel like everywhere I've gone, I've had mother, father, brother, sister helping me, guiding me, financing me. And without them, I would not be where I am today. I can say that for sure. You, on the other hand, if you let's just get into it. You lost your mom and dad at an early age. You lost your brother recently. I feel like you've had every reason to become an alcoholic or a obese unsuccessful person, and every time I look at you, every 2 years, 3 years, you're just higher up in the career. So first of all, kudos to you. But how what goes inside that head of yours to to not go down and to keep going forward? I mean, I think that's an amazing quality you have.
Thanks for that, Amit. Yeah, unfortunately, I did lose my parents when I was young. If I take a step back, I think I was about 18 and 19 when they passed away. So, I'd say the first 8 to 9 years was, I was just jumping around without any clear direction. What's really helped me out over the years is, whilst my immediate family is not there, I've been very lucky to have family and friends who have supported me throughout the years. Now, when I talk about support, it doesn't mean money per se. It means that I have had a lot of support. I've come across some really good friends who have helped me out without any reason, and that's something that I'm really grateful for. I can think of four different people right now who were there for me and had the patience to guide me. I didn't always listen to them, and when advice comes in, always take it in the best way possible, but it was always with the right intention. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think I've been fairly lucky to be in the right place at the right time. The way the last two jobs since I've grown in the corporate ladder have been more around recruitment. But if I look at the prior 2 or 3 corporate jobs, they were referred by somebody in the right place in the right time. So it's a combination of two things. Since I've been, since I was a kid, I think I've always been fairly stable in terms of emotions. I've always kind of figured out ways to get around. So I suppose a combination of those things have helped me throughout the years.
Okay, so let's talk about that a second. Success for you. What is being successful? Are you successful today? Can you tell me, like, what's in your
Sure.
mind?
So if I look back 20 years and said, hey, I have worked for 2, 3 organizations which have revenues in excess of $1 billion in a very senior role, which is typically CEO -1 in, or -2 in some of these cases, I would have never thought I would have got here. So for me, at a career level, I am far more successful than I would have thought. For me, success doesn't come with a job title; it comes with areas of influence. So when I look at jobs, it's not about the specific title I have. Areas of influence. What can I influence in the business? Who are the people who I can lead? Who am I led by? So I look at businesses and roles in terms of areas of influence. So that's, for me, I'm way more successful than I would have imagined 20 years ago. I mean, really, it's, I think, incredible for me to be in these situations. I'm in retail, the types of brands I've had the privilege of working with, type of leaders I've worked with. So for me, success in work is where you influence, areas of influence, decisions you can make, and how you
Okay,
can grow businesses. And more importantly for me is how you help people grow, people in your team. For me, that is success.
got it. I was telling Sabrina that I believe Starbucks is one of the brands that you help manage, and she started going crazy about it. What
I
was the issue,
did. I
Sabrina?
Well, you started the point system, right? I always have a Starbucks. I literally, the amount of money I've spent here, I could have, a private jet, a yacht. So tell me about that point system you started because I have a bone to pick with the new CEO about it.
Well, so Starbucks is, it's an incredible brand. It has. I have my cousin's wife, who, when she travels anywhere in the world, she picks hotels by how close Starbucks are. So that's the
Wow.
type of
Guilty.
brand it is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
when we
Crazy. I don't drink
were
coffee. So that's crazy to me.
Which is bizarre to me, people that don't drink coffee. I need it. And I too always check with a hotel the closest Starbucks.
This is my
Yeah,
coffee.
you have your Coke. We were the prior organization I was working for in Indonesia had the franchise of Starbucks, very successful. I'm going to say they now because I just moved a couple of weeks ago. Over 600 stores across Indonesia. We were elected as the first country outside the US, which was changing the points reward system to be transactional in terms of number of beverages to a value based system. Obviously that had benefits for the organization also because you could go in and order a single espresso, which was probably $2-3, and get the same number of stars if you were going to get a venti, which was $10. So for the espresso drinkers and those who spend $4-5, it was a great program. But the new one then turned that around, and the whole intent over there was trying to get a higher check value, and that was the change. It was very interesting because I don't know why they elected Indonesia as the first country out of the US.
Yeah.
Incredible experience for us.
That's great. So recently, this new year, actually, it was 150 points for a free drink or free food item, and this new year they upped it to 200. So the other day I had 160 points, was ready to get my free
In-
drink, and it wouldn't go through.
Inflation,
I was
Sabrina.
livid.
Inflation. Blame Russia invading
Yeah,
Ukraine.
exactly, exactly. What are some other, or what are your favorite brands you've worked with so far?
I've had the privilege of working with brands such as Starbucks, Sephora, the whole Zara group, Converse, New Balance, Hard Rock Cafe. There's pros and cons, but generally the brands I've had the privilege to work with are incredible in terms of how they own their IP and their brand. A successful brand over years has to come with leaders who understand that they're gonna hold on to that image, to that IP, and are not gonna let it go for anything.
Mhm.
My previous group CEO always used to say our job, because we were distributors, right? We represented these brands. The most important thing he taught us was we are custodians of these brands. We don't own them. We have to treat them with absolute respect because they're trusting us with the brand. And we're talking about brands which have been, some of them, around for 50, 60 years. you know what would be my favorite brands? I think Starbucks was very interesting, but in the prior job, I think Converse, even though I'm not an athleisure or my fashion sense is definitely not Converse. I just love the brand. It was acquired by Nike several years ago, but the way they operate the brand, how they treat people, that whole influence, I'd say, and the people I dealt with, Converse would be one of the top ones up there.
You're
I feel
such a
like Converse
metrosexual.
here.
I mean, fashion
That's the,
sense. Which guy
that
uses the word fashion sense in today's day and age?
I'm an old school person in that regard.
Honestly, you've always dressed well. I really, I've admired that. I'm jealous. I've never known how to dress, so it's a good one. I always wear Nike and Adidas. I dressed up for you in this
No
podcast.
Converse?
I've
No
dressed up for
Converse for
you,
you?
Amit. I'm wearing a shirt for you today.
I don't think nowhere I can pull off Converse if I'm honest.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey. I've I've had a pair of Converse.
I
It's a
he
can
meant
thing
see
me.
you with
here.
them. I can see
I
you
think
with
he
them.
meant
I don't know
me.
about you.
What does
He
that
meant me.
mean?
Okay, so Amit, you were in Jakarta for X 3 4 years. Now you're
No,
moving to
8 years, Amit. It's the longest job I've ever had.
eight
8 years.
years in Jakarta, and now you're in
Yep.
Dubai.
Yep.
What
Um,
happened? You didn't find a wife in Jakarta, so you moved to Dubai, or this is a career move for you?
it's certainly, I mean, I decided on a couple of things. I was, by the way, the last organization gave me everything. 8 years, had four different roles. I was in corporate, I was in Starbucks, I was in fashion, I was in the sports division. Really growing, gave me everything. I think as an organization, I joked with the group CEO when I left, and he was kind enough to spend time with me and said, "Listen, the doors are always open for you," which was incredible. I reached MAP as I would call myself, sort of a consultant, and I left being a real operator. I got this job offer, and to be honest, I wasn't looking at leaving Jakarta. If anybody said, "Hey, you're going to be in Jakarta for the next 7 8 years," I wouldn't have had a problem. But um, Dubai it's another incredible organization. It's probably double the size than MAP, a bit more luxury in terms of brands. It's a shift in role from driving P&L on e-com, performance marketing, CRM. I'm moving into what they call group head of customer. So I'm responsible for customer experience, loyalty, data, everything which touches customer becomes my new role. Um,
Yeah.
one great
Remind me.
organization. Sorry.
Sorry, just remind me. This is even more amazing because you've done all this without completing the college degree, correct?
Yeah, I didn't go to college, but one of the things that I always, and I think you and me talked about this, is I always wanted to do an MBA. I was lucky enough to complete one in 2020. So I did a double MBA with ESAD in Barcelona and Aalto in Helsinki. It was a bit complicated to get in because I didn't have the college degree, but they took my work experience, and finally I got
Mhm.
into the MBA. Incredible experience, and I finished it in 2020. So that was a big achievement for me.
Good for you
See,
for
Thank you.
going back and doing
that's my
that.
point. That's my point, Sabrina. Like, if I didn't have a college degree, I don't think I'd have the confidence to apply for the banks and follow the career that I've had. So I think
Right.
that's amazing. So Abid, now
Yeah.
that you've got your MBA, we can update your Match.com profile, so we can
Please,
actually
please do.
find you a
Please,
wife.
please
Finally,
Yeah,
do.
are you?
speaking of that, Amit spoke about familial support through your life. And I feel now as an adult, I've been married for next week will be 21 years. Um, and my spouse is a I mean, probably my biggest supporter, right? Everything I want to do, always right there pushing me to do it. You're successful, you're good looking.
You're gonna
Where
start making me blush now.
so where
Well,
is
but
this
Sabrina,
person?
you are married to the All American. I mean, the guy's a model. The guy's he could compete in
Stop. He's going to be the third person listening to this after our moms.
got
So
it.
we don't need his head to get bigger, but where's this person?
Uh,
What's your personal life like?
What's your
no,
excuse?
it's just hasn't happened. I think it's certainly on the cards, and everybody keeps on asking me this, and I don't think Jakarta was the easiest place. Listen, if I'm gonna say I've only been in the headspace to really think about that, I'd say in the last 6 7 years. Everything for me has come with, obviously we all have our insecurities. Until I was able to financially 100% support myself, I didn't really think I was in that place, even though everybody say, well, if you have a partner it's all going to be easier, but that didn't work in my head, right? So I think from the moment I felt financially stable, where the biggest insecurity for me was always, hey, and I think Amit told me this, and I remember we were in Hong Kong maybe 5 6 years, and he said, "Listen, very proud of what you did. It's incredible that without a net for you to fall on, you've done this." So that was the biggest insecurity I ever had, and the only way was financial stability. So maybe 6 7 years when I really got to a point where I said, okay, now I feel really settled, is when I started considering. There's been a couple of attempts, but I don't think Jakarta was probably the easiest place to find someone. I'm
Got
certainly
it.
open to it, and it's never
Well,
too
let's
late.
see what happens in Dubai now,
Let's see. I hope to
right?
do.
So back to success, Amit. When do you have enough fu money? I.e., when do you have enough fuck you money that you say that's enough? I'm quitting and I'm retiring. What's the target here? Do you have a number?
So I have a number. Let me keep it to myself. But I think if I am on the track that I am in the track that I am. I'm hoping I can take a step back in maybe 6 7 years. That depends if I get married, and that's probably going to end up being 12 years. But let's see. Or maybe she's really successful and I can do it before. I'd say 6 to 7 years is my target, but I don't think I'd ever fully retire. I really, as you know, Ahmed, I'm still extremely passionate about
The
F&B
tennis.
hospitality. So, the project we had in India, which was hospitality hotels, is
Yeah,
really where my heart is. I love retail, I love tech, I love digital. It's stuff that, keeps me up in at night in a good way in terms of, what we can do. But I think I'll probably, if things go and, continue the way they are, maybe 6 7 years, set up a small little fund and go set up a hotel somewhere in Europe. That's a plan.
wow.
Any interest in going back to Las Palmas?
No,
Really?
so I have a love-hate relationship with Las Palmas. Obviously, my parents and my brother are not there anymore, but I have a beautiful niece who's there. But I just feel Las Palmas, after having left, it's just too small, even to retire. I'm not saying I wouldn't go back and visit, but I feel like Madrid is the city for me. That's where I think I'll end up, uh, hopefully retiring.
All
But
right.
you're a Barca fan. Why would a Barca fan retire in Madrid?
Well, you can't change clubs, right? That's one of the things you can never do.
So you
Um,
can change where you retire. You can change
but
from Madrid to Barcelona.
no, it's Madrid is the most. I think all of us have traveled all over the world. I still keep on going back to the best city, people, F&B culture, museums, sports is Madrid. Except the beach, it pretty much has everything. So that's
That's
where I hope
interesting.
to end up.
Okay.
Sabrina, what is the
We
best
haven't
city in the
even.
world?
Ooh, this summer I went to Amsterdam and I
Mm.
fell in love. It used to be London for me,
Yeah,
but I fell in love with Amsterdam. It's such a charming city. Great food. Everyone's walking around. I mean, here, I live in San Antonio. You don't walk anywhere. And you
yeah.
guys know, you've been to the US, most places you're just driving around. So
Well,
I
Keswani's in
loved it. But if,
Dubai. In Dubai, he can't walk anyway. He'll get burnt.
oh,
You'd be surprised. The weather
that's
right
so
now
true.
is until today was 21, 22 degrees. It was
All right,
beautiful.
but 10 months of the year you can't walk in Dubai,
No, I think
right?
you'll get away with 4 5 months, but it's but it's got a lot. The city has. I mean, I've been here for a week, and it's just been one of the easiest moves. This is so Dubai is the 12th city I've lived in my life. One of
Okay.
the easiest to settle down in.
Nice. So I remember when I first met you many years ago, I was impressed that you had been to Nick Bollettieri's tennis camp,
Yes,
right?
absolutely, great memory.
Yeah. Yeah. You still playing tennis?
I'm back to it. So yeah, I went to the Bollettieri Academy. I was, I don't think I was ever good enough to make it pro, uh, but I had again that was an incredible experience. My parents put a lot. It was really expensive. They sent me there for a year. We got to see some of the greats. We got to see Agassi, Monica
Yeah.
Seles, Jennifer Capriati, Sampras used to come by there. What an experience. I think from the time when I left and I came back, I was a different person altogether. That whole experience, I continued to play tennis. I've trained kids over the year. It's still one of my absolute
Nice.
passions.
What?
That's
But why is
great.
that impressive? I mean, don't you pay for it? Isn't it like I can't go and join that same camp?
You wouldn't. There's a certain level of groups I don't think you'd qualify
Yeah.
even in number 10. Sorry to say.
I don't even know if they take you as a ball boy.
Oh God, tough crowd, tough crowd, tough crowd. So why don't we jump in and we ask some rapid fire questions, and whoever wants to answer, go ahead. So Amit, let's start. What scares you? What keeps you up at night?
Very few things I'm at right now. I think finally I figured out what works for me, what's important for me, and what I'm working towards. What only keeps me up at night right now is actually when it's something work related and I'm obsessed about figuring strategy, how to get things done. That's and obviously when Barcelona loses, which is quite often lately.
Okay, Sabrina, what keeps
uh,
you up?
fa- Failing my daughter. We have a 9-year old, and I think not being a good parent or messing up somewhere. What about
Yeah,
you?
I sleep throughout the night, so
Good
I
God.
I
And you have a
Yes,
well
you
third
do.
baby on the way also.
yeah, but I try and lock the door and sleep alone sometimes, so I'm good. Uh,
That's
next,
marriage for you, Amit. That's
chat
marriage.
chat GPT. Is it a good thing for the world? Is it going to create unemployment? Kaswani?
No, every new technology has brought different types of jobs. I think ChatGPT is a natural evolution, especially me being in tech. I think it's one of those things like driverless cars, which is going to take a while to get right,
Yeah.
but it's going to be an incredible addition to anything tech related. And as I said, every single new technology which has come around has created a different set of jobs. We just have to be open to new tech.
Got it.
I
Sabrina?
agree. And I also feel as a parent, it's going to revolutionize the way our kids learn. But there's pros
Mm.
and cons to that. Maybe, they won't have the same homework they're bringing home, but they're going to
No
have
homework.
an,
No
or
homework.
no homework, right?
No
But they're going to
homework.
have an abundance of new tools created by AI to
Yeah.
teach them, what they've been learning, but in new methods, maybe
I,
more efficient. So I
I,
love
I,
it. I'm mind blown.
I love it. The only problem I have with it is that every day there's a new AI. The technology is so fast that I feel like I'm not able to cope up. So, but I love it.
But I'll tell
Okay,
you something.
next. Tell me.
One of the things that ChatGPT and I'm sure Microsoft was behind it is they've really, and marketing is all about share of voice, right? They've gone out there since the 3.5 version was released, and they've made sure that they are part of the narrative, and that's going to make them more successful because there's always two or three big players in every sector, and Microsoft ChatGPT have just ensured that they're going to be one of them.
But Amit,
Yeah.
who remembers Bing? I mean, who's going to go to Bing.com after Google? Is Bing even an app on my cell phone? I mean,
So I just got the Bing and I got accepted for the whole trial. Um, I mean,
you bribed? You bribed them, or is it your company? Your company has special privileges.
listen, no technology, no company can feel secure. Remember companies like Kodak, right?
Yeah,
If Google, everything is moving towards AI, right? If Google is not able to do a good enough job to create a product, and everybody's working on it, Facebook, Google, Amazon are working on something like this. It's going to be very quick. If Bing is successful, powered by ChatGPT and the way marketing, the way people or news gets around, I can guarantee you there is a risk for Google. Don't, yeah, the brand name is horrible, Bing. I remember Steve Ballmer when he presented this was saying Bing, Bing. I don't know if you remember that video.
yes, yes,
Horrible
I
name, but
remember.
listen, there's horrible
Yes,
names out there of products which have been successful.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I was reading too with Google, they're already losing a whole generation to TikTok as a search engine. And I was mind blown. I mean, I don't have either of you used TikTok as a search engine?
It's incredible.
Personally,
I
As a
yeah,
actually
search engine or for
as a
fun?
search engine. No,
no.
as a search engine. The CEO of Google said we're losing an entire generation, Gen Z, to TikTok as a
I'll
search
send you a
engine. So
podcast on that, Amit.
I thought
It's
that was
actually
Facebook. I thought
nope.
Facebook was losing advertising revenue to TikTok.
that just shows what generation we're a part of.
No.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
friend, she's 27, and I asked her and she said, "Oh yeah, I look up, new restaurants in San Antonio, what dry shampoo to use." I said, "You're kidding." And I said, "Do you use
Wow.
hashtags?" She said, she looked at me like I was from a different planet. She said, "No, you just type it in like you would at Google." But she said, "I don't use Google anymore. I use
I,
TikTok."
I've never used Snapchat. I've never used Tinder, but I'm jealous.
Well,
I wish we were in the generation where we had these apps. They're awesome.
Oh, okay. Tinder is not that great, by the way. There's another whole there's another whole conversation on Tinder we should have. But
that's a
anyway,
whole another podcast, right?
totally, totally.
You can share those stories in this podcast, Amit. We don't mind. We want to hear the success. We want to
Yeah.
hear the failures as well. And the
Oh,
The more
failures on a personal,
entertaining this is, the more successful we are.
not
So
only that, and your personal relationships and the fact that you've done all this single, uh, we don't know if that's part of the success or part of your failures. We want to talk about everything.
many failures, too many failures for sure.
I
Yeah.
doubt that.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
next question.
Next, Elon Musk. Hero or villain?
Well, for me, a leader who doesn't show empathy is a villain. He's revolutionized a lot of things which are critical and are incredible. The whole battery energy, it's incredible. But you know, what I've learned in my years, if leaders have to be empathetic, we have to be examples to everyone. And just for me, he's a villain. I
Yeah.
definitely,
Sabrina?
Uh, I agree with Amit on this one. I think half of Americans don't because we had a villain of a leader. But yeah, I agree with you on that. And, I think pre Twitter, we were, wow, this guy's amazing. Look what he's creating. And
Yeah.
I don't know where the empathy went. You?
I He's a hero. I think he's a hero. I mean, even Zuckerberg is hated. For me, Zuckerberg is a role model. For me, he's a hero. For me, these guys, the change they've had, the amount of people's lives they've affected. I get what he's done. He's not done it in the right manner, but I think history is going to look at Elon Musk as just the fact that he's revolutionized not one industry but multiple. I'm not even talking about the chip in the brain, just energy, solar, Tesla, the Starlink, sending those to Ukraine. For me, the good far outweighs all the negatives. And yes, he's not very diplomatic. He's a bit, you know, brash,
And
but
he's weird.
yeah, but
Strange.
you have to be when you reach that level of, I love the fact that he's got 10 kids, or is it 12?
I don't
Um,
know.
I don't think he even knows.
yeah, I think he's a role model.
I would
Okay,
have
next.
expected you to answer that, knowing you, by the way.
Yeah,
Me?
yeah, yeah. For me, he's a role model. Love the guy. Um, he's the kind of guy I'd like to go out for dinner and get to know. You know,
Wow. I'm surprised by your answer.
well, for you, what is it? I mean, you would like to go for dinner with Boys to Men, or Michael Jordan. Am I right? That was your
Oprah.
Oprah. I mean,
Oprah would be the person.
Oprah annoys the crap out of me.
I love her. I still love
Oh
her.
God,
I'd
me
even
too.
go out with Meghan and Harry. I'd have dinner
Oh
with them.
I
no,
was going to
no,
say the only
no.
two people I hate more than Oprah would be Meghan and Harry, and the
Yeah,
disrespect they've had to the monarchy. I can't stand them, and
but
that's the only thing I agree Piers Morgan in.
there's a great episode of John Oliver dissing the monarchy. You should see that one. It's quite hilarious. He's an
Yeah,
incredible comedian.
he is funny. He's funny. Okay, speaking of comedians and Oprah, what are you watching on TV right now, Amit? Something that's keeping you excited or anything fun?
Uh, Honestly, in the last couple of weeks, nothing really exciting. If I'm honest, I'm just a lot of podcasts. I keep on listening to stuff like Pivot. I keep on listening. New York Times does a great show. Anything which is business, tech is stuff that really excites me. I haven't seen any interesting shows lately. What was the last one I saw? I can't remember. No,
Fair enough.
nothing
Sabrina,
interesting.
Gosh, I'm gonna really share a side of me. The reality
crime.
stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like The
What
Bachelor.
Kardashians? Kardashians?
No, I don't watch the Kardashians. No, there's I can't. But The Bachelor, I'll watch. I only watch like one Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then I do enjoy the podcast now. Because of you, I started listening to My First Million.
That's brilliant.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
And then I love the crime ones. I do
It-
like, I don't want people to think that I'm, just a reality junkie. I do like other drama shows. They're mostly crime shows.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Some
watching
good killing.
Marcella, Marcella, Line of Duty, all the British crime shows.
Oh,
I
I
love them.
love those. I mean,
Yeah,
those. I all the British crime shows I kind
love
of
them.
download.
Those
I
are
love.
great, actually. The
Yeah.
British ones, I like those.
Yeah. So, Amit, if you were to go back 25, 30 years, or if some 20-year-old kid is listening to this, what advice would you have uh, to them that would be maybe slightly different to the journey that you've had?
Um, I think one, when you're young, health is important. Don't think that you're indestructible. Um, I've had some health issues. Fortunately, everything is good now. But I think one, always keep health in mind. Um, the second one is really from a work perspective. Start thinking about what is your moral compass. What is how do you want to make decisions? What drives your decision making? That's really important. I've made decisions when I was much younger, which I look back at right now, and I'm shocked. I think us, figuring out who we are, what our moral compass is, how do we want to start making decisions, what's important to us, is important to understand when you're younger. So I definitely think of that. And the third thing is, if you're looking at a long career and you want to be up somewhere in a corporation, don't forget that at the end of the day, everything is about selling. So make sure you have some sales experience on your CV, because I've known incredible professionals, ones which have had sales background and ones which haven't. The one with sales will always be more successful. So I'd say those are my three. If I had those advices if I got those advice when I got younger, I think I would have done even better.
I
I
agree
mean,
on
I
the
love
health one.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
especially
you
the
know what
health
I
one.
was gonna say?
Yeah,
The moral compass. I, I, you, I don't think I've ever heard an executive say that. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And I think it's important.
my moral compass is moving quite a bit nowadays.
Which way?
Yeah, south. It's moving south. It's not south. Sabrina, now that we have you
Yeah.
on this call, I wanted to ask you. It's something that bugs me. I think you live in the greatest country in the world, and I've thought of that for decades. I've wanted to live there many times, and Trump did not change my mind in terms of the innovation, the democracy, the constitution, any great company, the way you guys handled immigration. I've just loved America as a concept. However, I'm done. I'm done discussing with any American anything to do with gun control. It's not even worth discussing. How do you live in a country where the amount of students that are killed in universities and schools, like, for me, that would be a reason to pack up and leave the country.
I'll tell
So how
you,
do you do it? Yeah,
it's scary. And every day we drop our daughter off at school, it's on your mind. And every
yeah,
day you're even at a grocery store, you're at a restaurant, it's on your mind. I was talking to my mom about this the other day, and I told her, I said, when I'm at a restaurant, I look at my exit strategy. Where's the closest exit? Because
yeah,
that's the country we live in now. Again, I'm in Texas, and we have an open carry policy. So
yeah,
literally, I can have a gun and I can be walking around, be in a store.
yeah.
It's
Not even nine
terrifying.
eleven. Not even 9/11 changed my mind about the country. Um, it was just this whole gun control, how every year, every day, it's just getting worse.
It's
And
absolutely
nobody
terrifying.
is doing absolutely anything
Nothing,
about it.
nothing.
Nothing.
There's
No
gosh, I
Obama,
forgot.
no Trump, no Ron DeSantis, no nobody is really doing anything about it,
There
and it's
have
just
been
getting
more
worse.
mass shootings, than days in this new year.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And
Yeah.
Keswani and I have lived in Asia and we've lived all over the world, and we've never thought about it. It's never been an issue, right? Amit, have you ever been scared of a
No,
gun violent?
no, and it's God, it's having if you're having kids, and I know many schools actually go through drills. Imagine
Hmm.
putting a child through a drill in case there is a shooter. By the life of me, I think, and we're all from Las Palmas. The way we grew up in Las Palmas, which continues to be an island, I don't think we could have felt safer. So honestly,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
And
Oh,
sorry.
incredible.
my daughter goes through active shooting drills,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we got her last year a watch. It's called the Gab watch. She can only call 10 people that we register on the watch, and she can text us. So we said you keep it on for safety. Recently, she was told by a teacher that she had to take it off because that's what the principal said, and we sent an email to the principal just yesterday. Um, we got it for her for safety. I don't know what's going to happen in this country the moment I walk out this door.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's the
And
reality of our lives here.
yeah,
And it's sad.
and I'm sorry to bring it up, from a positive like Amit's moral compass to me bringing up gun control, but it's just I live in Chile, and it's in the back of my mind because you live in America, and my
And
wife's
Chile,
sister
you've told
lives.
me
Yeah.
how dangerous it is.
Well, Chile has a different type of problem. We don't really have we have robberies and thefts. So people, 10, 12 people will go into a store with a knife or a gun and just pick everything they want. Security guards
Yeah.
really are not going to do anything. They'll go to a warehouse center and pick up all the iPhones. The Apple premium reseller in Chile has been robbed a dozen times in the last 2 years. So there is a lot of theft in that way, but there's no, hey, this guy hit me in the car and, take
So
out a
let me take
gun.
out my gun.
Yeah, there's none of that anger. It's more for a purpose. Not that I'm giving anything, not that that's better, but it's the crime and the number of gun deaths in America. I think just the gun deaths of this year add up more than 50 other countries together.
We've
So
become numb to it here. Um,
yes, that's the
it's just
problem.
another shooting. And it's funny, when I was in Europe this summer, anytime I told someone I was from Texas, that's the
Yeah,
first topic that came up.
They knew open carry, right? Everybody kind of knows that.
Yeah.
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 Someone give me a happy topic or something. I don't want to end the chat with gun control. Sorry, I don't know why I even thought about it. Someone give me a happy topic. Some good news that's come up. Kiswani?
All right. Yeah.
Sabrina,
Any travel plans? Any good news?
well, I've been traveling a lot. I think there's several plans I'm doing. Again, I'm going to do a foodie trip in Madrid in April with some friends. I went to the Australian Open this year. I managed to go and see the two men's semifinals.
Oh,
Incredible
excellent.
tournament. Highly
That's
recommended.
awesome. How was that?
It was incredible. The matches were not great, but just seeing how that tournament is organized. I remember this, because many of my friends were coaches and traveled with pro players. They always said it's the best organized tournament, and I was there with one of our common friends' son, and we said, "Listen, we spent 12 hours over there, and it was just an incredible experience." But yeah, I want to try and get some more sporting events. Looking forward to maybe when the Bernabeu is relaunched, Amit, we can go see a game over there.
Sure. I mean, obviously, I want to watch a Champions League game there sometime. So let me just wrap up with a quick rapid fire. Ready? And this is for both of you. Let's start. Michael Jordan or LeBron? Who's the GOAT?
Jordan.
LeBron.
Wow, Sabrina, really? LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron.
Wow. Okay, I'm going.
100%.
Okay, I'm going for MJ. All right, Nadal, Djokovic, or Federer?
Even though I'm a huge Federer fan, just by the way he plays, you have to give it to Nadal just through the injuries, through the years, etc. Today, for me, Nadal.
Nadal. I'm
I
not a
think,
Djokovic fan.
I think I'm not a Djokovic fan, but I think he will be the goat
For
in
sure.
terms of
Give
Grand
him a couple of
Slams.
years.
I think
Yeah,
he'll
give him
get
a couple.
25, 26. Yeah,
For sure.
and Messi. I don't even want to put Ronaldo in the same equation, but let's go for it. Messi, Ronaldo, or Maradona?
I mean, for me, being a Barca fan and seeing what he's done, definitely Messi. Influence of the game, number of years he's been playing, definitely Messi.
Definitely Messi with regards to talent. If we're going based on looks, Ronaldo. I
Really?
had to. I had
Yeah,
to.
yeah, got it. I mean, I'm a diehard Real Madrid fan, as you know, and for me, it's Messi without a doubt. Um, Beyonce or Rihanna?
I can't answer that one. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
Sabrina?
I'm
It's
gonna go Beyonce, and I am shocked that everyone's calling her Super Bowl performance as absolutely brilliant. I thought it fell flat.
Why doesn't she sing? Why is it just lip?
No, I heard somewhere that they have the lip singing. They lip sing
yeah.
because they have the music in the background
So that's
for
what they call a
technical
minus one.
reasons.
That's what they call in live music minus one. So it's kind of lip singing and a little bit of singing, not 100%. So they don't do the full song.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought it fell flat. I know I'm one of the few that think that, but didn't do it for me.
I mean, she danced like, I mean, it was flat,
Well,
flat. I think if it wasn't for the background dancers,
Yeah, it
it
was the
was,
background dancers. You
I
knew
mean,
something was up.
what was the previous one? Shakira and who?
Oh,
Which was the?
J Lo, they were
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. I mean, those two. Did you hear the Shakira song when the whole Piqué thing?
I heard about it. I
I live in
haven't
Chile. I mean,
listened
Oh,
to
you
it.
listen.
it's on every day on the radio, in the gym. It's so annoying. But kudos to Casio and Twingo and all these brands that have made a lot of money.
I don't follow these things, but I still hear my radio shows from Spain on football, and that's when the song was going live at midnight, and I was on listening to it, and it's just one of the most hilarious things I've seen in my life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the whole world is hashtag Team Shakira, right?
Not me. I'm a Madrid fan, but I still like Piqué. Um, let's wrap up. Amit, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, maybe it's a good-looking girl after hearing you're single. Do you want to leave an email, a Twitter handle, Instagram handle, or you don't?
So
That's up to you.
I'm happy. Well, one is I'm not active, even though I'm in the digital world. I'm really not active on any social media. So happy to leave my email. And honestly, if anybody wants to reach out, any questions, some kids want some career advice, anything, I'm more than happy to leave my email. I think we can leave it on the podcast, or should I say it
You
now?
can say it now, and we can leave it as a note as well.
Sure, it's Amit Keswani at me.com.
Oh, that's nice and simple.
Yeah.
Okay, Sabrina, Mr. Keswani, I had fun. I wanted to, it went as good as I hoped, and I want to just thank both of you for your time. And I'm sure we'll be meeting in person as soon as we can.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks to both of you. Great seeing you, Sabrina. It's been ages.
Great seeing you. It's nice to catch up.
Absolutely.
Excited for everything that's happening with you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody. You've just heard the inaugural episode of Indian Explorers. In this show, Sabrina and I will be talking to other non-resident Indians about their journeys and their careers, and hopefully learning something or just being entertained by their stories. Thank you all.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.